Day one, we were walking along the river.
I had gone out with Bekah and Paige.
Still really not knowing where we're going. Not a lot of people around, so we were like, maybe we should turn around. But then we were like, no, let's just like go a little bit farther. There's gotta be someone.
I prayed about it and I thought, let's just keep going.
We just sort of took a minute, kind of prayed about where do we feel like going, where do we feel like the Lord's leading us. And I just remember we just kind of looked left. We were like, I think we should just go that way.
If we see anybody, then maybe that will be our person. And then I remember walking and looking off to the distance and seeing a man sitting on his moto. And I had this sense like, that's our guy, but I wasn't sure.
So there's a little bridge, so it was a nice place to kind of stop and look out. And it just so happened that there was a young guy.
And so we stopped and kind of took in the view ourselves, and we just kind of said, hey, and immediately when we first started talking to him, he had this huge smile.
Just his whole face shines when he smiles.
The thing that stood out the most to me was his smile. And so his name was Tin, and he just had this radiant, beautiful, glowing smile. We spent some time with him, getting to know him.
We just talked to him for a little bit, talked to him about, his family, how old he is. Communication was difficult. He spoke, survival English, I guess, and maybe a little bit more, but Google Translate helped a lot.
We asked him if he knew about Christianity or Jesus, and that's kind of how naturally the conversation was flowing as we got to know him.
We have a little track that's in Khmer, and so we're like, oh, well, if we give him this, maybe he'll understand what we're trying to say.
We were a little hesitant about, but we learned that these tracks talk about the way to peace, and that really resonates with people who are of the Buddhist faith. And so, we prayed and we took a risk and gave it to him, and he started reading it right there on the spot, and then asked for more for his friends.
You have more? You have more?
Yeah.
I asked him if he had any questions, and he said yes, but he couldn't articulate in English, what those were. So
it was cool, but it was also difficult because we were like knowing how hard it is to convey things in another language is so frustrating. We were like, hey, are you gonna be here on Tuesday? Like, we're gonna be back out. We can bring someone who can translate. So we set the time, 1 p.m. on Tuesday right there. And he's like, okay, I'll be there. And we're like, sweet. I was super excited about it just because he did seem so interested and engaged and wanting more.
I just go, Buddha? He's just like, yep. Yeah. And then I was just like, we're Christian. And he's like, cool.
I know, yeah.
Tin wanted to learn more about Jesus, and so we invited Pastor Philip, a man we met, to come alongside us the next day so that they would be able to communicate and we could share the gospel with him.
We wanted to bring Philip out just because he had more specific questions that we weren't able to communicate, that he wasn't able to articulate in English.
Jeff woke up not feeling well, which is really a bummer because he was very bold with our friend and initiating the conversation and very involved in it. But the beautiful thing about it is that the Lord will use anyone, and we get to be here, and so I'm thankful for that.
I was bummed, but I have full faith and confidence that the girls were gonna go handle it, and that good things were gonna happen.
We planned a meeting for today. We brought along our friend, Pastor Philip, to just translate and speak Khmer.
Our set meeting time's about 5 minutes away, so we prayed as we walked over, and we're expectant that he'll be here. We're at our arranged time, but there was no Tin. So we were a little discouraged. We bought him a Coke, we just sat there.
And then it gets 1 o'clock, and we're like, okay, he should be here like any minute. Like, we were really excited. And then it's like 1:10,
1:15,
1:20, and it was like getting a little antsy.
So we started praying, just being expectant that he would show up. So we were talking with Pastor Philip.
It was right before 1:30, maybe like 1:27. A bike rolls up and turns around, his face lit up, of course, with his smile.
Huge, radiant smile on his face.
Got him and Pastor Philip introduced to each other, and they just started chatting. and just already seemed so comfortable.
Pastor Philip just started telling him about who Jesus was, and all of us kind of took turns sharing different parts of our story.
And it's always exciting to share it with people, don't get me wrong, but when someone, like, you can tell that they want to hear it and they want to know what this is, makes it more exciting. It wasn't artificial at all, intent, like for 10. Like, he was so genuine in like wanting to know more and understand, and to just see like what it was that we have that was so, I guess, evident or contagious that he wanted also.
I felt like the Lord telling me to tell him about the Holy Spirit. He invites us into a new life with the Holy Spirit.
Paige had shared a little bit about her story and the Holy Spirit, and we're like, you can have that too, like, do you want it?
To be your comforter and to be your guide. And he said, yes, very excited, very much. All we have to do is pray and ask God, and his Holy Spirit comes and lives within us.
And he was like, yeah, like very, very excitedly and enthusiastically. And Pastor Philip like looked at us and he said yes. And so we were all just like, yes, which was, it was just really beautiful, because there's always that chance that the person will say no, even after being so engaged and interested.
And all of us prayed together for him, that he would receive the Holy Spirit and that he would have the strength to live as a Christian in a Buddhist family. And so he talked with Pastor Philip afterwards about receiving a Bible and being discipled by him. And then he said that he wants to join a church in Thailand where he works. So yeah, we got to say goodbye, and knowing that we're going to see him again.
His face, his smile was so much brighter after accepting the Lord, and it was just like really cool to see the change of like how bright it was before and then how much brighter it was after, because of what's inside of him.
See you later.
See you later, yes.
Good luck for you.
Yes, you too. Jeff had not been feeling well, which we really were sad about, because he had really just kind of cultivated this friendship. And so when we came back, we were like, I hope he's awake, we want to tell. Like, we were so excited. And we go up, and he's sitting out on the balcony. And so we like kind of creep up behind him and wait till he like knows we're there, turns around, and we're like, let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby!
Let's go, baby.
I was just genuinely excited for this guy, and just for kind of the fruit that came from us going out and doing it.
My journey so far on the world race, that hasn't happened yet, where someone's been so ready to receive. And so it was really exciting to see someone so close and so eager, and you could tell that he was so genuine and ready to receive the love of Christ.
At training camp, they talk about this bridge of evangelism. And so one person starts here, and if coming to faith is on this side, each step in evangelism is like laying a plank on this bridge. So it was really cool to be a part of laying that one of the last planks on that bridge, and then ultimately having the girls follow up and like be a part of completing that bridge and him giving his life to the Lord.
What I think of is like planting a seed, and you never know, like, because it takes time for a seed to grow and to become ripe for harvest, and so you never know like what part of the stage of that we are going to be at as we share with people. We just happened to cross paths with this man in the time of harvest, and the Lord was able to let us be a part of his work that's been going on in his life for we don't even know how long, but we got to be there for that, which is insane, because it just felt like it was so little, like we'd met this guy one other time, but the Lord had just prepared his heart so much for that time.